Let's start off with like a short meditation first. To clean and cleanse our mind. It's like wiping our plate clean of all the dust, debris, leftovers. When we will go up to ask for a new helping of food, a new food, it tastes best when you have a clean plate. By closing our eyes and ordering our mind to come back to ourselves. The mind, your state of mind, become bright, aware, know, allowing the good energy to be pulled up every passing moment, every single system requires energy to run. The mind, just like the body, works and have the system to deal with pollution, foreign substance, and things that are harmful and nasty. By being aware, simply by being aware, the good system, as we call it, activates in the background, dealing with the pollution. As long as we're mindful, the energy that comes from being mindful will feed into the system like a steam engine, like a train, steam engine train. As long as the coal are being shoved into the furnace in front of the train, the heat will ignite, burn up, and heat up the water that turns to steam, running to steam engine. But the train will stop when the coal finally burn out without adding any new coal in. We can be aware simply, easily by looking at ourselves. As we breathe in, our body, our belly, our chest expand, and Thai we call pong or blow up. And when we exhale, everything shrinks. We call yup. Everything just shrinks. So like a balloon blows up when we inhale and shrinks as it exhales. Commonly known as yup no pong no, meaning it now balloons up and now flatten down. Balloons up, flatten down. A mere observation of yourself, of your body as you're mindful of it. And when our mind have a chance to rest and clear itself, we can slowly and gently open up our eyes. Here in the meditation center I'm in, they're hosting a novice ordination. So the little guys ordaining, about 20 of them, from like I think six, age 6 to 15. So I have a chance to teach them for the past 4 or 5 days, and then want to share with you guys. Mm. Because they're quite young, I limited the scope into 3 parts because I have 3 days. The other 2 days were taken up. Um, it's a cycle between it is basically summing up a little bit of what the Buddha teach and how it relates to meditation and mindfulness practice in this most condensed form possible, I think. Of course, to teach the kids, I first introduced them to what mindfulness is, teaching them to be mindful. In Thai, my teacher always use a combination of words. When he tell people to order, in Thai we don't use one word, but we use 3 different words in succession. We said กำหนดระลึกรู้กำหนดระลึกรู้ These are the 3 words that in English it's only say order. What these 3 words basically mean are กำหนด means of course to order. ระลึก means to recall. And then รู้ is the end result, being aware. Mindfulness comes when a subject or you as a person are ordered, be it by your good conscience or by someone else. Ordered to do what? To just bring the mind back to themselves. Once it is back, yourself become aware. That's why these 3 words comes together: order, recall, and know. These are the coming about of being mindful. In the past, I've been teaching Sobi, like how to explain this a lot easier to foreigners. And I always bring up have like told the kids too, because these kids are quite naughty. So I said, back home, I bet you are scolded by your parents often to be mindful. And they all said, yeah. All of them said, before I asked, all of them said that mindfulness is very hard. But when I asked that question to them, they find that actually it was quite easy because every time they are scolded, they are mindful, seemingly out of nowhere, instantaneously and effortlessly. But because they don't know the secret, it couldn't happen right away. So therefore, I broke that down and saying that, order here means that in that case, you're ordered by someone else. Someone come up and tell you that, hey, be mindful. When the kid hear it, they accept that order, recalling the mind back, or meaning execute that order, bring the mind back and become aware. Now, we don't like other people to boss us around. So therefore, why don't we just do it ourselves? That's why the first day was teaching the kids to order themselves. Come, tell the mind what to do so that they can get into mindfulness. It gets more interesting as I explain that when you are mindful, the awareness lingers for a few seconds. That in itself might not be long enough to call concentration, but that is essence of what meditation basically means. a prolonged mindfulness. And I asked them, what is the secret to that prolonged mindfulness? They look at me with some, of course, the kids, they keep talking and mumbling, but some just have no idea. So I brought up a example of, like someone playing a video game and have to really beat the final boss. What they do is they tell themselves, focus, 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 knowing that their concentration, knowing that they need concentration and that their concentration cannot last that long. That's why they keep on repeating, focus, focus. And we find the same pattern when we have to put like a thread through like a needle head. And we say, calm down, still, and as we really focus in. And that's what keeps thing to be prolonged. In other fashion, we also use the word calm down too. Calm down, so that the mind does calm down and prolong that sensation. So it's that repetition, that repeated ordering that turns into something that we call a mantra. That's what that's where mantra come from that repeated ordering. So with that first day, I taught the kid to meditate. Now the second day, when the basic is down, what comes to mind was that how can I elevate the kids to the new heights? And I thought that, these kids are probably forced to ordain, just like me, being a novice myself, many times. Uh, when there's free time, the Thai parents just push the kids to the temple so that they have time and the kids get like a mini boot camp, so to speak. But being there, if the kid have no goal, it's just a same old routine. Eat, sleep, wake up, eat, play, go to bed. And so sleep, play, eat, and bed. Basically that. But if they have a goal, they can get something out of it. They have something to strive for, something to work for, although they are forced to be in this environment, but they can get something back. And to get that something, it requires us to order once again, not to make a decision. So when you order your mind to come back, you are deciding to bring it back. With that as a foundation, the kid can then should decide what to focus on. The important thing here is that when you make a decision on a goal, the mind and body move by itself, conduct itself in such a way that bring about the result. So because there are kids who are teenagers, I talk about dating and flirting. If you want to get the girl, I say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna hit this girl up, or just go talk to her basically. When you have that goal, your pattern change. You act some way to impress the lady somehow, yeah, and then go up. And from that decision alone, you set a tone for the next activity that you put yourself into. Or because you have set and decide on that goal, the body just moves by itself. You are then so therefore it tells the kids that there are a system in place when you make that decision, when you make that goal. In a school where everyone experiences the same thing, if a kid strives to get A plus, he will utilize every resources to get that goal. If a kid decide not to learn anything, no matter how many years he's in there, he won't learn much, for he already set that goal. In class, he will participate in the activity that doesn't listen to teachers, whereas the student who want the A grade will do, even though they're in the same environment. So this is elevating what they learned on the first day together with what decision to make, a good goal to set. Now today was the final day. And we talk about the one who makes decision or the one who proposes a goal, which bring us back to the very first day, the day that we talk about getting goal to be mindful. I said that, most of our life we are being ordered around because we have no strength, no authority. When our parents tell us to do something, we do it. And we follow through by outside forces. But believe it or not, there are also inside forces too that is inviting, proposing all the same. And it is where highlight the existence of thought that arises without them knowing. We all believe our thought to be our own. All the good and bad thoughts. All believe it as our own. Even when we meditate so clearly, it's the most clear. That's why the Buddha had to teach meditation too. It's one way for people to prove that thought are not their own. Because when they close their eyes and have a goal to be aware of their belly rising and falling, or their breath, inhaling, exhaling, they don't have a goal to think. On the contrary, they don't want to think too. But thought keep arising up. And therefore, the story of sea turtles showing the existence of thoughts that dictate those animals without any information, without any parent to teach them, guide them. It's the thought inside that guides them the way they live their life. We also subject to the same phenomena. Growing up every day, ever since we're young, we hear this thought every day. All invitive, telling us to do this, to that. Because we listen to them and accept them, our body now subject to that program. Like you make a decision to go and flirt with someone, the thought comes up and say, hey, she's cute, why don't I go? That inviting thought comes up together with feeling, and the person say, you know what, sure, believing that it's his own thought. He then participate in activity that is opposed to him, that he decide on. Then he had to live out the consequences of his action. The goal of this 3 day is to highlight the fact that as long as we don't come back and realize this, and be mindful all the time to listen to this thought arise and go down, how can we ever be the master of ourselves? We are just someone who is bossed around, not by outside, but by inside. Bossed around to do this, do that. Sometimes we say, God forbid, we have a bad friend inside. Because if that was the person that guides me, how would my life be? Always a thought detailing, explaining, painting, directing your way of life and the world that you live in. Paint all these images. So therefore, I then explain the difference of our thought, the good thought, bad thought. And then being mindful will be one sure way to catch a glimpse of these thoughts that comes up. Prepare to handle them and make a decision. Actually, we are not far. We it's not like we never done this before. Imagine going to talk to someone who is easily angered, or for example, with the kids. I know the kids want to ask for lunch and pocket money, so they have to scheme something. So they know the tricks that will get money and what is the dead end. So therefore, when they have a goal, they go up, and the thought comes up, say this, say that. So the kid have to choose his words wisely. This is what important. He have to decide on the word that he use, but the word come up before he can say in the form of thoughts. So when it's negotiating, a thought comes up, say this reason. The kids know, wait. No, that's a dead end. If I say that, my gig will be up. So I need to say something else. Now, a thought will come up for a new proposal. The kid just follow, assess the thought that comes up, the word choice that comes up, and decide on which word to use depending on his goal. Say when we talk with other people too. If you want to catch a date, for example, the word choice is very important. You sit still and the word come up, say this and wait a minute. This is not, this won't catch your heart, for example, and then you pick the right word. We are always listening and deciding, but you only listen when you're mindful of your thought. You can decide. Want to look fashionable in front of the guys and the ladies? Be mindful first. Then you're like, oh, how am I standing? How am I posing? Always. Want to look cool? That thought will come up. Pose like this, stand like that. And we say, that's a really. Then we follow through. But only when we are really mindful. So in those times where we want something, in those times when you know, in days where our life and life depends on it for some reason, we are always mindful because we feel as important. But when it's no longer important, we are not mindful anymore and just let our life live by. Letting letting the thought dictate us without us moving once again. The outcome that we have to live it anyway. So these are the three days that I've been with the kids and the 3 classes that I give. A short but cohesive way that comprise of practicing to order. That's the skill that no one has. Everyone does, but they don't do it manually because they accept everything. Ordering the right goal to have. And the third one, being aware of who's proposing the goals to so that you can make the right decision. But that can only happen when you are mindful of yourself first. So it's a loop back and forth that needs to come together. What happened if we don't do this? Then I have the privilege to teach the kids. And kids know who are 5, 6, 7, 8. They have no filter, not only in their speech, but not in their action. You see that they can't sit still. I tell them, hey, if you guys sit still for like 30 seconds or even 1 minute, easy 1 minute, I'll give you 5,000 baht. When you think about it, so you know what, that's easy peasy. But for those kids, they don't last 10 seconds. And when you see them making, they would fidget around this and that. Or because when they bring the mind back to themselves, they are met with pollution from being naughty inside. It's fidget. The only kid I see who meditate is the kid who follows instruction, and he's a nice, calm kid. He sit and meditate very beautifully. But for those other kids, they tried, but it hurts to be still. That's why to escape the pain, they have to bring them attention out, to walk around, to chit chat, to this or that. So I had to teach the older kids to understand that it's not like the kid want to move around, but they can't be still. When they are still, it hurts them to be still. When governed by pain, or when governed by pressure, pain, be it physical or mentally, there's always a solution that comes up. When people are bored, when kids are bored, because teaching monks speak for too long, the kids say, hey, how about I talk to the other guy and sit next to me, and they start to chit chat. When making too bored, I'm gonna slap the floor so that something happen. There's one kid who just clap his hand for 30 minutes straight throughout the session. But everyone have to find a way to survive the pain that they're facing. But when we understand, we know that we can never become the master of ourselves. Take back our mind, our body. if there's pollution still being used and governs against me. Is it tough? Yes, it's tough, of course. But the prospect of not being able to control yourself, wanting to be a good person, but find that laziness, boredom, other negative feeling comes and trap you. Want to hit up the gym and be, healthy body, and find that again, drowsiness, sluggishness all come up to drag you down. Therefore, if this thing still exists, what hope can we have to be anyone? We don't have any hope. We are locked in prison. So therefore, we will go back to the regular or activity that people seem lazy. At least that's not hurting. But that's why it's more pressing to go against the pollution, knowing that withstanding it will prove dividend or prove result. Just like going to a gym. Yeah, no pain, no gain. But not like we know that endurance, muscle, cardio is tough. There are barriers of entry all around, but we understand that if we don't do this, this will be a thing that drag us down or even kill us. So therefore, how about I go through with it now that it's still fightable and I have the strength, have the skill to do it, and just do it.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. So now that we have been so kindly set the tone, the atmosphere for our meditation, it's time to close our eyes. Mm. The reason I decided to start this meditation in such a format is that I wanted to highlight that everyone who comes and was part of the meditation, even though they're not leading, they are part of the system. They are part of the tone and the atmosphere that is set for the entire class. So thank you everyone very much for being here today. And as Tom said, we are just gonna close our eyes, gonna stop and still, and just see what is happening right now without any kind of expectations for it to be hard or easy, just like Zoe said, just accepting whatever we find when we close our eyes. We can do so verbally, we can do so by just feeling into our entire body, just like Leo shared. And then when we're sitting there, just like Andreas said, we set out to do nothing. Meaning we just observe. There will naturally be something, the feeling of our body, your breath. Because just like Ajahn Jimmy said, we just set the goal to have our mind with ourselves, to have our mind where we can protect it, So therefore, even when we're doing nothing and just looking at what we are naturally perceiving sitting here with our eyes closed, we're making sure that the mind is with us. Therefore, we are mindful. It can be that your mind naturally gravitates to an object that has served you in the past, that you're familiar with, or also that is very strong. Pain, for example, is the favorite object of advanced meditators because it is very strong and very consistent. So when it does arise by itself, of course, and we understand that if viewed correctly, it can be a wonderful tool for us. No matter what kind of reality you're facing, if it is easy to know your chosen object, or if it is very, very hard to stay mindful, it's okay. It's okay. You're safe. And if at any point we feel like we are locked inside a dimension that is dark and chaotic, and we can't find our way out, we can't know our object, please open your eyes. By opening your eyes, you will get out of that world immediately. When we meditate, we practice mindfulness. Specifically speaking, we practice to order our mind, verbally or not verbally, to come back to ourselves and then to know, to be aware. Either of what is unfolding naturally or of a specific object that we've chosen. We practice to order our mind to recall it so that we can be aware, because it allows our mind to heal itself. That's for one. And secondly, because we become aware of the reality that is happening in every right now, in every moment. We realize that we need to have a goal to come here to sit for meditation, to do what is sometimes hard to do. We realize that that is important, that a goal is always the beginning of everything that we do and say and experience in our life. And in meditation specifically, we notice that inside, dragging our mind away, are images, sounds, voices that try to order your mind, to bring them to know whatever they want to talk to you about, whatever they want to clue you to with an emotion. We realize that if we are not ordering our mind to be with ourselves, inside of us, others will order our own mind. That is the reality not only of meditation, but of our individual life experiences as well. If we are not the master of ourselves, by first being mindful and aware, our mind being with ourselves, our mind with our body, then we are not in control, or rather unknown, unconsciousness, autopilot reigns over us. Sometimes and it is very strong and very negative. It can almost feel like we're possessed by anger, possessed by sadness, anger, sadness, desperation that can order your mind, bring it to them outside of your body, away from what's actually happening in your mind, and lock you there. And we need to know that. We just simply need to know that. Because when we have that knowledge and that right view on how our personal experience, our life, our own decisions are actually truly propelled forward, only then we'll realize the importance of mindfulness. Only then we will realize the importance of setting a goal, of ordering or escorting our mind back to ourselves. If our mind is not with us right now, we just gently ask it, come back, like a kid that we ask to sit down with us, meditate with us. We know that the kid, if they sit down, will get great benefit and healing from just sitting still, closing their eyes. So when it runs up, it gets invited away. We're not angry with the kid. We're not disappointed. We know that they're doing the best they can. That on some days they're more attentive than on others. We simply meet them with understanding of the current moment, the current situation. And then when we have gently and softly escorted our mind back, our kid, second note, it's as if we would put a spotlight onto our object, onto whatever we're observing. We can stay for longer. In addition to that light, we take out a magnifying glass. All of that actually is not us doing it at all, but it's what the mind will naturally do. Imagine a kid finally able to stay for a second and they see something really, really small, really interesting by themselves without you having to say anything. They first become still and squint at it. And then they take out their flashlight and look at it. You see even better by themselves. They take out their magnifying glass. The longer the kid is able to stay, to be interested in that thing, naturally by themselves, those kids they will one by one do everything to investigate further. This is what our mind can do. But first, in order for that to happen, we have to bring our mind back, bring our kid back to actually sit down for a moment. Then we have to teach them why that is important. what that does. Naturally, as over time the kid is able to calm down more, the kid, or respectively our mind, will do everything by itself. Sometimes our kid is more attentive, more calm. Sometimes, for whichever reason, it is not. That's okay. We understand. We don't expect any more of the kid that is reasonable for the current situation. We just, as a good parent, watch and see what the kid does, what our mind does. That's why we say we don't really do anything. We just observe. We see what the kid does, how the kid examines, and it is able to stay. We realize when the kid has run off. And that is when we do the one thing we have to do. Gently and softly bring your mind back. Bring our kid back. And then we just see, is it able to stay? You will see what the kid is discovering, if it is able to stay still. Examine, and we will either see our kid trying to run off or see our kid already having run off. And then gently and softly, we call our mind back. Sometimes our mind, our kid, will actually be hijacked, kidnapped by thoughts and feelings that are not nice. If that is the case, we open up our eyes, knowing that that instant you'll be out. Your kid will be out. If we're able to bring our kid back, we can then see whatever has scared our child. We can hug our child. We can gently pat it, gently pat your hand, your body, pat, pat, pat. Tell yourself it's okay. Tell your kid it's okay. Safe now. It's back with you, breath by breath, moment by moment. Make sure you have your kid with you, your mind with you all the time, sitting there safe, relaxed, as it needs its rest, as it needs its care. Thank you for being here. Take a moment. Thank yourself for being here. since it is coming towards the end of our meditation session, we do what we always do. We conjure up a state of love and kindness, our mind being the place where that state arises is the first one that feels it. We can then expand love and kindness throughout our entire body. As we feel the warmth washing throughout our entire body, we then wish love and kindness to the people that are close to us, or rather, to their minds, to their inner children, so that the state of love and kindness will arise in their mind too, cleaning, brightening up their minds, making darkness disappear. We expand love and kindness through the entire room we're in, lighting up the whole room, every shadow disappearing, everything nice, bright, and open. We then expand love and kindness further to people that we don't know so well, acquaintances, strangers, everyone around on this earth and beyond. We wish for their minds to become full with bright brightness and warmth, so that they may feel what their mind is feeling. We expand that bright light openness covering the entire area with love and kindness, the entire country you're in, until you reach over the entirety of the earth, wishing love and kindness to every being. We expand our mind through uncountable galaxies, ordering it to cover everything there is to cover. May every being be happy, healthy, and free from suffering. May we be forgiven for our trespasses, and may we forgive everyone. This is the time to set a resolution. In the last hour, you have pulled up positive, bright, vibrating energy, vibrant energy. And now you set a goal, you set an intention where that energy is supposed to go. What is it that you can and want to do, say, practice for yourself and others? How can this energy uplift you and everyone? Set a resolution, set a goal, and that resolution, that goal will come to remind you, will become a belief stronger and stronger that can help you in times of uncertainty. And then when you're ready, you can gently open up your eyes.